Ah, yes, the Enneagram. How have I not made a video about this before? I want to briefly share 3 reasons with you on why I believe that this popular personality trend is not what you think it is. First, I think it's really important to define what the Enneagram actually is. First, the word Enneagram, the first part of it, Ennea, comes from the Greek word for 9. Gramma, the second part of the word, translates to something written. This image is drawn as a circle with 9 points which are connected with lines. Each number is associated with a type of personality, but this isn't what a lot of Christians think that it is. To the New Age teachers, they see the Enneagram as a sacred tool, and each type is actually a path to God, your inner divinity. It's an occultic tool. So when people see the personality types, what they're actually seeing are what's intended to be paths to enlightenment. Each number on the Enneagram sets you on a path to enlightenment, to your inner self, your inner divinity, your true self. The encompassing point and idea is that when people do things that are bad or wrong or act a certain way, they do it because they're acting in their false self. So the Enneagram was supposed to be a tool that helps people find who they actually truly are in their enlightened true self. Now, if you have connected the dots, you have seen how this has absolutely exploded in Christianity in the last few years. There's a lot of people, prominent people, pastors, teachers that have talked about and promoted the Enneagram. I'm willing to say and guess that they just simply don't understand the origins of the Enneagram, but that's why I'm making this video. I think as human beings, as people, we get kind of bored, don't we? Like we want something new, we want something exciting. And most Christians, when they look at the Bible, it's not trendy. And sometimes they don't understand it. So what they do and what they look for is some sort of cultural fulfillment, something new that will help them to become better. It's been said that perhaps Christians have gotten bored with what the Bible has to offer. So what they've done is they go and they find a deeper, more thoughtful structure like the Enneagram appealing. A lot of this information that I'm going to share with you, I have learned from my friend Marcia Montenegro. She has a wonderful website and she has written many articles about the Enneagram. And also my friends Dawn and Joy Venot. They partnered together with Marcia and wrote a wonderful book called Richard Rohr and the Enneagram Secret. I highly recommend this book. I will speak more about this book at the end of this video. Now, there are a lot of issues with the Enneagram, but I'm only going to share 3 main ones in this particular video. The first issue that I have is its false history. If anybody ever tries to make the Enneagram more appealing because it's ancient, they are wrong. It's not. It is not ancient. The Enneagram actually originated in the late 1800s by a man named George Gurdjieff. The original Enneagram had no numbers in it at all, and it had nothing to do with personality. It was supposed to be a diagram of cosmic reality. He believed that you could actually see the universe with this, and it was meant to be a mystical, metaphysical tool. Issue number 2, Richard Rohr. He is probably the biggest reason why the Enneagram is famous within Christian circles to begin with. The point of Richard Rohr talking about the Enneagram is so people could actually come in touch with their true selves. He was using and popularizing the Enneagram as a tool so people could find their inner divinity. Now, if you do not know who Richard Rohr is, he is a Catholic priest who has promoted a lot of progressive ideologies and New Age teachings. He calls himself a Christian, though, but his entire encompassing beliefs are not Christian. They are New Age. He actually lives out here in New Mexico and teaches at a center down here in Albuquerque, and I do plan on visiting that center when they reopen, and I plan on making a video about it as well. In the book, Richard Rohr and the Enneagram Secret, I'm going to read to you a quote from a New Age teacher. It says, "The purpose of the Enneagram is not self-improvement. which would be our ego's goal. Rather, it's the transformation of consciousness so that we can realize our essence, our true self. So according to the teachers of the Enneagram and of the New Age that use this as a tool, the whole premise and point is to find that purpose within yourselves, not scripture. Once again, we find something from the occult, from the New Age, that is being Christianized and promoted as being Christian. Now, let me explain to you the core of this problem. Number 3, the core issue. Okay, now some of you might at this point be saying, so what? Melissa, big deal. Who cares if it has a background? It's helped me. It's helped other people. Well, let me tell you what I believe the core issue is of the Enneagram. When you are a Christian, okay, or you call yourself a Christian, you are holding yourself to a different standard, and that is the biblical standard. It's the standard that Jesus puts on you. So if you're calling this a Christian tool, you need to understand why it's not. The core issue, in my opinion, and why it's deceptive is this. You need to ask yourself this. If you're on the fence and you're thinking that this is not a big deal, or maybe we're sensationalizing this, you need to ask yourself, can you, as a Christian, formulate your identity around an object that was formulated off of contact with familiar spirits? That's the core question that you need to ask. And what else it kind of reminds me of is how people live within the confines of their astrological signs. You know, so if you're a Taurus, then you need to have these certain traits. And you're not going to be compatible with other people that don't have the same sign as you. Or maybe this sign is more compatible with that sign. And you will judge somebody sheerly based on what their sign is. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me telling me that people have elevated the Enneagram to that level. Well, they're a 4. We're not going to get along. I'm a 9. What are you? We can't be friends. You know what I mean? Very similar. Another thing that this really reminds me of is The Secret and the Law of Attraction. This was made popular many years ago, and it was actually taught by some Christians, people who claim to be Christian. This teaching is still actually being taught to this day to some degree in many Word of Faith churches, that your words and thoughts can create your reality. But what people don't realize is that this whole concept is not ancient. It was taught as if it was secret knowledge that we needed to find again so that we can find our inner divinity. But that's not how it happened. What happened is that this information was given to humanity by channeled spirits. I think any Bible-believing Christian would have an issue with somebody practicing the law of attraction for these reasons. So why is it okay to use an occultic tool given to us by channeled spirits to define your personality? I believe this is another example of that we're made in God's image, but we want to make God in our own image. Now, I realize this is a shorter video, but I do really want to recommend this book. I talked about it in the beginning of the video. This is a mind blower. I think that it will be really hard for any Christian to read this and not be disturbed by the Enneagram. I think it's well written, full of information, and it's, I would say, an easy read. It's, let's see, a little over 100 pages. I hope that you really take advantage of this resource and learn more about this topic. I will leave a link in the description of this video to this book so you can check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching.